going on, everybody, and welcome to Ask a CISSP. So this is the Thursday episode of The Other Side of the Firewall, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. With me today is Matthew Hale. So this is not our first time on the podcast. So we had you on earlier in 2024 and the February timeframe, right? We're supposed to talk early in February, and we wound up just getting to speak just before the month ended. So luckily it was a leap year, right? So we had an extra day in there. But I wanted to get you on as early as possible. We have our normal audience, and now we've kind of expanded. So we're on 1 FM in the Atlanta metro area, as well as we're on Channel 10 public access in DC and Fairfax. And I think what you do is so important, and I wanted to highlight you at least once, if not twice, during the month. So I'm going to play the old episode, which people probably will have heard before this one. And then obviously they'll hear this new episode as well. So they'll get a broader picture of you and what you're doing for the community. So thank you very much for coming on the show. We had a great conversation last time. So I would like to hand it over to you for a brief introduction of who you are and then your background experience before we start going down the rabbit hole.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me again. I'm much appreciated. But my name is Matthew Hale. I am a retired disabled Marine veteran. I have a background in computer engineering. I was a senior Azure architect. I am fully retired from the Marine Corps.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, so once I retired, I kind of started doing some stuff like hobby-wise, which actually was trying to help my grandkids learn a little more about our culture, which is Black history. And that spawned into a 10-activity workbook series that is on all major platforms now. It started getting buzz here in the Tampa Bay area. I've been on multiple TV stations, multiple interviews, some daytime talk shows, and me being the computer engineer that I am, I knew that the future is tablets, iPads, cell phones, computers. It'll be more ingrained in school settings. Some of the stuff that, I used to work with in the DoD was smart boards, which was just now getting to the civilian population. So I decided to create an interactive website that was off of the books I had. After doing a lot of different festivals and speaking engagements and touring and stuff, a lot of people gave me feedback on things that I could have added or to enhance the books. So I took that chance to create those things on the website so that it would go even further from just the books, because I believe we as a community need somewhere where it's kind of like a one-stop shop where people can learn about different avenues that we as Black people have gone down and created different opportunities and made some great accomplishments on the way. So I'm kind of showing people that the glass ceiling that you didn't think was broken has been broken. Right. You can look at these people's lifestyles and stuff, get a glimpse of it. If you would like to take it further, you can do that after you indulge in the activities. Now it is the biggest digital interactive website for Black history. And when I say it's the biggest, because no other website for Black history does what mine does. And the uniqueness of it is that it is all interactive, meaning that when schools have smart board and media boards, they can use the website to go on there and then teach the lessons through just the kids touching the screen and learning the different activities through these different subjects that you see on the board. You can move them around, and once you come to a subject you would like to enhance or talk about, you can then choose your person. I always kind of choose Carter G. Woodson because he's the founder of Black History Month, and he is the inspiration about where I went from this, trying to show our accomplishments, because he knew we were doing great things, and it just was not being, it was being documented, but it wasn't being taught in the school system. So he
Right.
figured
Exactly.
if he could get it out at least once a week, because it used to be Black History Week or Negro History Week, then he could, show our people that we are doing great things because representation matters. You know, when you can look up and see that there's a, Black policeman or fireman or a pilot or a doctor, and they're doing these things that you are inspiring to be, then you can say to yourself that I can do it too. And by them not showcasing these people, Carter G. Woodson wanted to take it a little further and showcase these individuals and the great things that they were doing.
All right. So I like to stop you there because you're doing an amazing job of navigating the website. So for those who are watching the video, they'll get treated to this. I think this is actually the first interactive
Yes.
uh um showcase of someone's uh I'm trying to think of the word, I guess, uh, entrepreneurship and their website and what have you. So like already you've done more than most guests have ever done on the show. So I greatly appreciate that. I was like, as soon as it popped up, I was like, I'm not sharing. Oh, he's sharing. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I didn't even know you could do that. I've been doing this for like on at least on Riverside for over a year now. I was like, okay, that's hot. So for those who are listening, you've navigated your website. It's called wegonnalearntoday .com. And then from there, you're able to go to a specific historical figure. And then within there, you can look at their biography, you can do activities, you can print out workbooks, as well as you can do crosswords and things of that nature. So when you initially started your website, what was the beginning? Was it certain topics? Because I remember us kind of briefly talking about it last time. Did you start with the different career paths of the people, or did you start with specific historical figures? What was the genesis of the website?
So when like I said, when I was doing festivals and stuff like that, me myself, I always look to enhance it because the whole purpose is to dive into individuals that people want to are curious about or want to know more about, or they're just curious about the path that that person took, so that they can kind of see if they're going down the right path. So in the beginning, what I did was I came up with a roadmap. And I started with the 10 books that I had, and then I added like 8 more different subjects to that because these were different areas that people wanted to know about, but I hadn't captured in the first
Okay, I
10
see.
books. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so people was like, what about world leaders? What about the Divine Nine? What about diminished stories like the
Right.
Tuskegee Airmen? The Green Book, the 761st Tank Battalion, these different things, stories that you hear about, but nobody really talks about them or go in depth about them. So I took this opportunity to add those things to the website instead of just trying to write another book because more people are on their phones and tablets than they are by going to a brick and mortar or ordering stuff off a line. So now it's at your fingertips. And I turned the We Gonna Learn Today company into a nonprofit. So now everything is free. You don't have to pay for anything. I want you to learn our culture because you want to learn it. So I decided to, give just create a way for you to learn and take advantage of these different things. So like I was saying, so you could, the roadmap, let's just look at sports. These are all the different people that will eventually be on the site. The ones that you see that right there, they're already on the site. And then anyone that you see says coming soon, those are the people that are eventually coming to the
Gotcha.
site. Yeah, so you can look at the roadmap and see all the different individuals and touch in any subject that you want. You can look at inventors or whatever. This is a huge one of my best-selling books is inventors. So a lot of people wanted to know about, and all these people have done great things that you probably don't even realize that you're using. Uh,
Right.
but a Black person created that, came up with that idea, and either we're still using that invention or they took an invention and enhanced it, and we're using the version that they enhanced today. Like some examples of that is the traffic light. Traffic light used to just be two lights, red and green. And then, I believe Garrett Morgan came and he added the yellow, the caution light. You can go with the Lisa Jalopter. She created the first GIF, which is now the meme. Everybody uses memes now. She started with the GIF and it has been enhanced with the meme, but without the gift, the meme would have never been available. A lot of these, you got the security system. There's a lot of different things. The video games cartridge, that was Black Man. There's a lot of stuff that we have done, and I just thought that it'd be cool if if I could showcase these different individuals. And when you, like I said, you go to let's go to the military, you go to some of these different people, just like Josephine Baker, for instance. A lot of people don't realize that she not only was a great entertainer, but she served in the French military while she was over there in France. She was a spy. And the way she would do it was she would go and perform, but in the meantime, as she was hanging out with some of these high-ranking officials, she would take notes and send it back and forth through her music. And she would write music, but it would be messages telling what was about to happen. And she got issued one of the highest things for for military personnel. One of the highest honors, the French Decor, I believe it's called. But there's a lot of things that they don't know, and what's crazy about this site is all you do is just touch an activity, it'll bring up the activity, and then you can play the activity, right? Ask different questions. You touch the thing. If you lose, you drop. If you get it right, you'll go further.
Right. And
I'm
I
not
see
doing
right now
good right now.
you're
Yeah,
playing
so
an educate play? Like how would you pronounce that?
Educa Play.
Educa
And so
play.
they're
Okay.
one of my partners that I'm partnered with. So like if you click on the support, We Gonna Learn Today workshops, 365. These are some of the partners that I'm partnered with, and Educa Play is one of them. Kahoot is another one.
Oh
Book
yeah, Kahoot.
Widgets. Those are all. They all do great things in the interactive world, and some countries call it gamifying uh,
Right.
education so that it's more fun and more engaging on the students so that they are doing more of the work than the teacher is. When I go do students with this stuff is like there's just no feeling like watching these kids get so excited for getting
Right.
questions right, helping each other do certain things. Like there's a puzzle, it's an unscramble, but it also teaches you how to spell. So, and it helps you with the definition of a specific word that was featured in the biography class. Yeah. So, as you're doing these things, the kids, when they're helping each other choose the right words, and it's just a fun, easy way for you to try to, continue to retain that information, because that's the main thing, is to how do we get them to retain this information and not just, see it today and it's gone tomorrow. Repetitiveness is how you learn things, is
Right.
doing it over and over again. That's why kids know every song, but they don't know their timetables.
Right. So just to pop in a question. So when it comes to you doing the research to add individuals or to enhance the materials you currently have, kind of like what is your methodology like? Because history is so expansive, and like you said, a lot of it's not taught to us. So and when I look at your page, I see a lot of individuals that I learned about when I was in school, or I learned about on my own, but I also saw a bunch where I'm just like, I don't know who that is. I got to definitely check this out. So how do you say, okay, this person historical figure exists and I want to pull out, the most important parts to showcase it to the student? Like how do you go about that process?
So in the beginning, when I first started, I went on my Facebook and Instagram page and I was like, hey, I'm starting to create this website, and does anybody have anybody that they would love to know more about. Yeah, but that kind of didn't go well. Like, I only got a couple people that like
Right.
responded to it. I got a lot of likes, but no
No, no
comments.
feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
no. Yeah.
comments. What I did was, to be honest with you, I got lucky, man. I just started like I would put when I started doing the research. First, what I did was there was people that I wanted to know more about
Right.
that is out there, and then I kind of went down the list of people that we already like put on that pedestal, and that people probably like a Maya Angelou or a James Baldwin or Richard Pryor
Right.
or some of these different individuals. So, but when the work came in, when I would look up and I'd be like, are there any Black female comedians? And obviously I know some, but I wanted to get people, because the whole purpose of the site is not just to showcase the ones that are super famous, but also
Right.
showcase the ones that are up and coming, that have done stuff and opened up doors, like
Right. Broken barriers. Yeah.
yeah, like Mom's Mabley. She opened up a lot of doors for female comedians, but a lot of people just didn't know about her struggle and what she did on the Chitlin circuit and stuff like that. A good barometer was to go to the probably the 20s to the 1960s. That was like where I was trying to find a lot of people that had broke glass ceilings. Was looking back in that era, because that was when we we wasn't welcome in like a Carnegie Hall or some of these mainstreams. We had to work in the Chitlin circuit, but they were still doing great. Like the Nicholas Brothers, probably the best tap dancing duo ever. They started off as two young boys, and they were, one of the first two to actually break some barriers in the color line when it came to like the Coco Cabana and stuff like that. They were allowed, because they were so young. Uh, the white owners didn't mind them performing. Uh, Vice, older Blacks that had already paved the way for them, they couldn't get the time of day to perform in those clubs. So it was just like, um, that was kind of like my navigation is, I looked up on a lot of, like when I was looking for mathematicians or different professions. Some of them, I just kind of looked at them and I just pointed and I pulled that person out. And then as I started doing the research on them, I was like, oh, this was a good find. Like it was pretty crazy. So that and then I also got a lot of now once the books were getting ready to come out, that's when people started really like coming out the woodworks. Like they really started giving me different
Gotcha.
individuals.
Right.
So once excuse me, started putting more stuff out, then people started engaging more and wanting to be a part of something. I think that's important. People, because people talk about doing stuff, but there's no consistency. So you hear about it today, and then you see
Right.
it 2 or 3 weeks later, and then they've moved on to something else. And maybe that was people's intention in the beginning when I first put it out, was like, hey, maybe this is just like everything on social media, just a quick flyby. But I was, pretty devoted to like doing it and figuring this out. How can I, create this platform? And by the books getting so much press in the beginning, and I was like, this is something that people really want
Yes.
to.
Definitely necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I just like when I got the first TV interview, and then it just snowballed. Like I think I've interviewed at every major news station here in Tampa Bay, and I've, like I said, been on some talk shows, and it was that press allowed other schools to start inviting me. Like I've done elementary, middle, and high school. I've been to a speaking engagement at USF, all from people wanting to know more about the books and stuff. And I took that opportunity to, when something gets to roll and if you have you have the tool set to like keep it going. And that's where the website came in. That is, how can I expand on just, something further on the books and make it to where now you can just do it on your phone.
No, absolutely. So with expanding the reach, right? So you're able to go talk to students, different grade levels and things of that nature. Um, like what I guess it's hard to ask this question because you don't want to pick a favorite, but what level of student do you feel is
Middle school.
for you?
Oh no. Well, so in my opinion, reason I say middle school is because middle school is that age where you haven't been, your dreams haven't been shot yet, if that
Gotcha.
makes a sense, any
Right,
sense.
right.
Once you get to high school, somebody then probably told you, hey, you can't do that. You still dreaming big when you're in middle school. You still have that innocence to where people are still championing you and pushing you forward. But then when you get to high school, it's only a couple years left before you either go on to college or now you need to get out in the real world. So people are like, hey, that dream you had, that ain't working. We need you to be focused on something else. And middle schoolers just don't have that problem. So, if I could show you some of these people that you thought didn't exist, especially in our community, now you're really more engaged about trying that. Because I think that's the issue why a lot of our community shoot down certain dreams is because they don't believe that there's a way for you to make money and survive doing that. And that's just not true. Obviously, video games is, a lot of people are like, oh, you playing on video games, you're 20, you're 30 years old. But hey, look at these 20 and 30-year-olds now. Some of these guys are millionaires. And the ones that aren't millionaires, they're still making a pretty decent living by doing Twitch and YouTube channels. And all they're doing is playing video games and posting content and showing other people how to solve or, finishing these video games. It's a $1 billion business. Don't downplay it just because you don't understand that dynamic of it.
Right. And I do agree. It is hard to become something you've never seen before. Because like the old thing was, at least when I was a kid, was like we'll never be president, right? Because it's just something we've never seen before. There was never a black president before Barack Obama, right?
Correct.
So like there are certain things like you could be an athlete, you can be a politician, but you can only hit certain levels of things. Like you can't be a billionaire, and now we have seen several of those. Oprah Winfrey, and what have you. So throughout the years, we have started to see more and more. So I'm glad that you're able to extract, those people who initially broke those glass ceilings. Say, hey, we've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing this since our history began. It's just it wasn't mainstream. So here
Yeah,
is,
right. And
these people.
that's the whole purpose of it. But the crazy part about it, when I tell, because like some of my research is through the Library of Congress, and a lot of this stuff is like, patents and different poetry readings and stuff like that. Those have been it's like, and I'm like, we didn't document this stuff. So, our white counterparts documented these things, and they're there, but we just don't look for it. Because when I was looking at, some of like a lot of Maya Angelou's poems and stuff are in the Library of Congress. James Baldwin, you got Bastiat. Like there's a lot of these different individuals that have done things that you'll be like, I didn't even know that they are in the Library of Congress.
Right.
When you look at the patents, like, the security camera and how she came up with it, you can go look at her original drawings and stuff and look at the patent number, and you just would be surprised.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, then you'd be like, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Cause like some of the stuff it was blowing my mind that it was documented and I still had no clue, about it.
Right. It's hidden in plain sight. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to, but I also think, the whole purpose of the website as well is, it's not that we don't want to teach our culture. We just have, when you got 2 and 3 kids, you're working a 9 to 5, all your kids are in activities, you just don't have the time to go, because it took me 4+ years to do the research just on this smidget of people. Like, this is like, if you look count up, it's about 550 people. 4+ years of research just for 550. Like, and it's because none of the stuff is in one place. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to change, is where you can, like, you can go learn about Martin Luther King, or, Frederick Douglass, or Rosa Parks, some of these other individuals, Scott Joplin, like some of these different individuals, but that's all you find on that page. Why isn't there a repository of just, Black excellence? And that's what this website is doing, is bringing Black excellence out and showcasing all these different individuals that have done great things and are still doing great things,
Right.
and giving you inspirations to follow your goals and aspirations, man. That's what it's all about, is trying to, be where you can go learn about a comedian, or a mathematician, or a judge, or a public activist, somebody in sports, a musician, entertainer, world leaders. Like, you learning about Shaka Zulu or Marcus Garvey, some of these different individuals that you just had no clue about,
Right.
or you heard the name and was curious, but where do I go find more information about it? So all this website is a starter of giving you a start on your journey to learn about some of these different great individuals, man. Because, like, I can talk in depth about some of the people that were, like, their story stood out to me, but, the whole purpose is to give everybody somebody to look towards, and then you can go do, more research and because this by far is not all of the information on these people, but for two reasons. One, I want you to be intrigued or do research too. And two, it's just, like I said, a starting point for you to learn
Right.
more about a multitude of different individuals.
So what's the goal for 2025? So like you have the awesome site, you have obviously the speaking engagements, you're very well known, especially in the local community, but it's broadening, right? You have the biggest website that does what you're doing. So what does 2025 look like?
So 2025 is, when so we did over 1,000 kids this year alone in 2024. So 2025, what I thought I would do is expand. So everything is, how can I help the Black community, advance? Other people can, dive in and learn our culture and stuff, but there's some issues that we need to address in the Black community. One of those things is, everything is building blocks, and learning our culture is that foundation of, self-worth, and understanding that you have, self-greatness inside of you. Then we need to start helping our young youth learn more about finances and civics, which is the system that we live in. When you live in the United States, you live in a system. If you're in China, you live in a system. And in order for you to advance, you must understand that system. And part of that system is learning who a governor is, who a mayor is, your city officials, who the president is, the senators, the congressmen, how all of that works, and how you making voting for people in your city or your state affects how you live every day. It's, the president and stuff is great, but a lot of us don't participate in local
Right.
elections,
Yeah, or
which
the
is
downvote, like we just
right.
completely negate that.
Yeah, and you need that, because those local officials, those judges that are sentencing your youth and your cousins and friends, you had a chance to vote on those people. It wasn't like they filled out an application and the best judge won. No, we voted for those judges to be in place. So once you start learning about those things and how the system works, then you have a better idea on how to change things, because you can't change things if you don't participate. And then financing is another big issue in the Black community that we just don't know about investing and APRs and budgeting. And by the time we find out, we're in our late 30s,
Right.
and stuff. Now we in debt, and we're trying to, man, it'd be like, oh, I wish I had known this when I was younger. So I'm taking this opportunity now that the website is getting good traffic, is to add more things that'll help our community out. And adding that into, I also added a younger version on there, because right now it's just, kind of the parent would kind of have to go through and see what they feel there is deemable for their child to learn.
Right.
Starting next year, there will be a 12 and under section, and then it'll be a tiered website. So you got 12 and under, 13 and up, and all of the information is different on each. So if you learn about Michelle Obama and the 12 and under, that is breaking down smaller increments of her accomplishments and some of the stuff she did. Then when you get to 13 and up, you can take that further and learn different information about Michelle Obama,
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
and keep going and learn more
Right.
about it. We also, well, not we, I also added a Spanish version. So
Okay.
I got a lot of people asking about a Spanish version. So in the 12 and under, it is in English and in Spanish. And actually, I can showcase that a little bit on my end to show you what it's kind of. So now they're getting a sneak peek of what the website looks like. So this is the kids' activities. So like say with the books, all they would do is click on a book. It'll bring up a different section.
Right.
Let's learn about Michelle Obama. And then the books are read along books. So once you start reading it, it'll read.
That's awesome. So yeah, I see. So I don't think it's going to play through our audio in this one, but I do like the art as well as just like making it accessible to everybody.
Right.
And you built all this
Yeah, yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, this is all, I mean, computers is my passion, man.
Okay.
And, I did learn a lot of stuff over the years through the DOD and through the military. And I took those lessons and I poured it into the website. That's why, like, the website was built on a 5-year plan. That's how most businesses do it. So in the beginning, you got access to about 160 something people, and then almost 30 something in the 12 and under. And then we add to it each year until we get to that end goal of the 550. But you can look at in the roadmap and see like who's coming down the line. But yeah, for next year, we're adding the civics and finance, trying to show people what APRs is, what budgeting is, what investing is, simple and compound interest. These things are important to know so
Very.
you can start to create passive income so that when you get in your, if you choose to want to retire or whatever, you got a good portfolio to where you can retire and you're just not looking for the same old paycheck to paycheck. So, hey, what's the saying? I can lead you to the water. I can't make you drink.
Right.
So,
But you're providing access. So I think that's the biggest challenge, right? Because so I where I grew up at, there were way more check cashing places than there were banks.
right,
So there's not a lot of financial education being, given. And then, like you said, I learned in my 20s and 30s how this stuff worked, and now I'm like, okay, well, now I know how it works. Credit score is not great.
right.
Had I had this, to begin with, like, I do with my children, is like, I'm going to show you what a budget looks like. Like, you think I'm making all this money? No, this is what's coming out.
Right,
This is you. This is what you cost me every month.
right,
And this is, what you need to put away. And this is, like you said, what is an APR? How do I save? How do I make sure I'm not, getting gouged credit card or mortgage or a car note? But none of that is taught in school. I remember I had 1 week. 1 week they taught me how to write a check and how to look at the stocks in the newspaper. And that was it.
wow.
It was like, and congratulations, welcome to adult life. And I went to college, and the first thing they gave me was a credit card, and I blew it.
Exactly. didn't know what the APR meant on the card. You thought it was free money, and not realizing that, hey, that $200 is it's gonna cost me $400 because of the interest rate, and that's kind of what I do with the civics and the financing piece on here, is that I take you through a story and then I throw you in I start asking to see if you understood what is a simple compound interest. What is a simple interest? What is a compound interest? In civics, how many years does a senator is their term? How many years does a congressman's term? Is a governor higher than a mayor, or is a mayor higher than a governor? People don't know these answers because this whole website is, in my opinion, is teaching things that I feel that they should be teaching in the school system, because these things are going to help you evolve once you get to adulthood. And, unfortunately, it's not created. The public school system is not created for you to evolve. It's created for you to fit in. And that's unfortunate that so many of us just don't realize our potential and we end up just fitting in.
No, I mean that is definitely thought provoking, and I do agree. Like it's a matter, like the curriculum doesn't get you ready to walk out the door and just start life. It's to prepare you for college, and everybody doesn't go to college.
Right.
Some people are gonna just not go to college. Some people are gonna go to trade schools. Some people are gonna go to the military. But at the end of the day, that one size fits all, like you're saying, is geared towards like I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know, so that when you go to the university, you still don't know anything about life.
Right.
So I do agree, and like you providing a website that does give that access for people who are curious, right? Instead of just doom scrolling on your phone on TikTok, like let me learn about how you said how civics works. How like I'm interested in buying, something, because I remember I bought this is a tangent, but I think I bought either a PS2 or PS3 credit card. Like I had the credit card in my hand. I was like, the first thing I'm going to do is buy myself entertainment. Swipe the card, bought it. And then later on in life, I sat down and I actually thought about like, how much did that cost me?
Yeah.
And when I did the math, I was like, it was almost $1,000 PS2 because I just didn't know it. I didn't understand how that works. Like these minimum payments are not going to lead to me paying the actual cost of what I bought. So it's good that you're giving them that frame of mind to know like this is how money works and this is how you can make money work for you, as opposed to like a lot of us don't have that either access or nepotism or any of the above, and we just go through life and
Just
you
fit
spend 20 years living and 20 years fixing.
Yep, you're just fitting in, man. Like living, like you said, paycheck to paycheck, always trying to get out the rut. But if we could, the site is geared to give our community a leg up, and hopefully people take heed in that and take advantage of the website. Yeah, man. I mean, it's an honor to be able to give back, man. I hate people that don't. They want to learn it, but don't want to share it. And that's just wrong. Or you share it, but you share it at a price that nobody in our community can afford. So I'm pretty sure everybody can afford free.
There you go. And yeah, that's very noble because yeah, a lot of people would think the opposite, right? Like when you said you had flipped it to a for profit, I was like, man, like if only more people were as giving, not break your back giving. I mean, I don't want anybody to be out, but
Right,
people who have the
right.
opportunity to be able to give and have the knowledge and experience that pass it down. Because it's like being in the military, right? We get a lot of mentorship, allyship, things of that nature, but you don't get a lot of that outside of, big organizations like military and things of that nature. So
I
it's good to
agree,
see that
man.
you bringing it back to the community. So I'd be remiss if I didn't land this plane on. So what does Matthew do outside of um, all of uh, this excellence, really, like to build the site, to get it geared towards teaching the community, and then you know what, I'm going to change with the times to make it even more accessible, and I'm going to add more for the kids. What do you do to unwind?
I do play video games.
Okay.
I'm a huge video gamer. I play basketball. That's another thing. I am passionate about music production and stuff. I do.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah, you're
yeah,
a
I make my
producer as
own
well.
beats. I do my own raps. I have. sing-along raps that are on here to help kids learn about the states, learn about the biographies of these different individuals. I make the beats, so that is a fun process for me. So, I've been fortunate enough, sir, to be able to take all my God-given talents and kind of pour it into this. But in the past time, I still play games with my kids. We'll get online and we go play the Division II or another type of game, and we just enjoying life, brother, and trying to give back. Yeah, so that's what I kind of do to unwind, man. So I still go to, Tampa is full of everything, man. I still go to football games, go see the Bucks get beat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or I'll go to concerts. We always having concerts here at the Amalie or at the USF. Yeah, go to the Comedy Improv downtown. Yeah, just go hang out, man, and just enjoy life, man.
Yeah, that's great. And I always like to show that other side of people, right? Like, because you're a hardworking person, you dedicate yourself to your profession and your passion, but we all need to, process and unwind and things of that nature. So I want everybody to go to your website, right? Everybody who's listening, whether it be on the radio, your podcast platform of choice, YouTube, public access, wherever. Go to We Gonna Learn Today. So WEGONNALEARNTODAY.com.
Or
check out
.org.
.org. And check out what Matthew Hale has put together, and share it with the community, share it with your students, share it with your friends. Dig into the content and reach out to Matthew if you want him to come do keynote, public speaking, teach the kids, what have you. Because he's doing a lot of great things in the community, and I definitely want to see this continue to grow. So that way in 2026, when I reach out to you, like, yeah, man, so we got this, we got that going on. It's just really good to see. Hit up the website. Again, it's We Gonna Learn Today. I'm going to have it in the description. And where can they reach out to you specifically, Matthew?
They can reach me on the website at info@wegonnalearntoday.com or .org. Also, if you want to donate to the website, you can just go to the website and then hit the support page. And by me being a nonprofit 501c, these are tax write-offs. So you can donate and then write it off on your taxes and help keep the website alive. But again, if you don't donate, that's fine. The website is still free for your access and for you to learn and do more with the knowledge that's there on the site.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely continue to tune in. Again, Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday discussion. Thursdays, just like this one, is Ask CISSP, where I sit down and talk to somebody who's moving and shaking, glass ceiling breaking within community. And then Friday's everything else, movies, books, games. We talk about everything else, whatever's going on. But yeah, hit up all the websites that go by our name, The Other Side of the Firewall, The Other Side of the FW, or Ask CISSP. And then hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on pretty much all the social media platforms, but I'm most active on LinkedIn. Stay safe. Stay secure.
Yeah! We representing over here. We going state to state. Let's go from Alabama to DC. Let's take a ride and meet these black historical figures. I know that's right. If you're ready to go, yeah, let's start the show. Okay. Can you name all of the states? For sure. In Alabama, we got Rosa Parks. Alaska's got William Carney with his brave heart. In Arizona, we follow Calvin C. Goody's view. And in Arkansas, we remember Maya Angelou. In California, they got that Mamba mentality shine. Clara Brown in Colorado was in and out of gold mine. In Connecticut, Paul Robeson's voice was so strong. In Maryland, Thurgood Marshall fought for justice all day long. Now Florida's the home of Zora Neale Hurston's pen, and Georgia's Martin Luther King Jr., my friend. In Hawaii, Barack Obama shines so bright, while Mammy Oliver teaching got Idaho students just right. In Illinois, we got Lou Rawls' sweet songs. In Indiana, Madam Walker's legacy is strong. Iowa's Harriet Curley paving paths so bright. Kansas born Langston Hughes giving poems flight. Kentucky's pride Tennessee to Muhammad Ali, and Louisiana has Louis Armstrong's melody. In Maine we honor Gerald E. Talbot's game, while in Delaware Henrietta Johnson's spirit reigns. Massachusetts shines with Arthur Phillips Wheatley books. Michigan has those great Barry Gordy hooks. Minnesota sings with Prince funky beats, while in Mississippi we remember Fannie Lou Hamer-Seat. In Missouri, George Washington Carver's planting skills were scary. And in Montana, Sarah Brick Floors were legendary. In Nebraska, the voice of Malcolm X rang clear, while in Nevada, Bernice Matthew paved the way without fear. In New Hampshire, we cheer for Melanie LeVay, while in New Jersey, Flip Wilson brings the laughs. Hey. From New Mexico, where Harold Post soldiers grew, to New York, where James Baldwin's words flew. From North Carolina, where Harry B. Nett took a stance, to North Dakota, where Arabelle Thompson advanced. In Ohio, we got LeBron James, the megastar. In Oklahoma, Layla Foley shows us who we are. In Oregon, Dr. S. Renee Mitchell's art began, while in Pennsylvania, Will Smith is cool as a fan. In Rhode Island, Thomas Holland sailed his ship so grand. In South Carolina, Darius Rucker sings with his band. In South Dakota, Oscar Michaud's films would flow, while in Tennessee, Tina Turner steals the show. From Texas to the state, Beyonce kills it every night. In Utah, Betty Gillespie took civil rights to new heights. In Vermont, Andrew Harris fought for rights with his heart, while Maggie Lena Walker in Virginia made a mark. Washington got Jimi Hendrix playing this song, while in West Virginia, Katherine Johnson proved math was strong. In Wisconsin, Belle Phillips fought for equality's dawn, while in Wyoming, Lynchburg paved the way to carry on. In Washington, D.C., where Carter G. Woodson shined, among leaders and dreamers, their visions now align. Now that's all 50 states, plus one district, each one unique from the sea to the Pacific, from Maine's rocky coast to the California sun. United together, we stand as one.